What a performance so far. Who's sleeping on this team? Come on, first on every puck. Let's go for Claude. Woo!
Woohoo! What a win from the Montreal Canadiens. 5-0. They defeat the Philadelphia Flyers to tie the series up 1-1. Yeah! What can you say other than utter domination from start to finish in all aspects of the game? Alain Vigneault said it himself, so it is what it is. However, the Montreal Canadiens and us as fans cannot be satisfied with it. We cannot get too far ahead of ourselves because I'm telling you right now, after getting shellacked like that against the Habs, Philly is going to come strong in Game 3. They're a great team, so expect a big response from the Philadelphia Flyers. I'm thinking they're going to be crashing the net hard. They're going to be throwing everything possible on Carey Price, so we got to be ready for it. But until then, let's just bask in the glory of what was probably the best Montreal Canadiens performance in the last 5 years, at least.
By the way, I was going to retire this rank-ass shirt. But, I was still going to wear it under my jersey for every game, but just wasn't going to wear it for videos. But they're playing too well. I can't do it. I gotta hold on to it and wear it for these, and it is what it is. At least you can't smell through the screen.
What a performance from everybody, from top to finish in the lineup. The young kids were going. Carey Price did his thing. The decor was playing heavy. Unreal what they were able to accomplish. Let's just go over the whole game in its entirety, okay? First, we'll go over stats. The Montreal Canadiens outshot the Philadelphia Flyers 32-30. Philly actually had us in the face-off dot going 58%, so strong night for them in the face-off dot. I'm still thinking the Derek Grant on the third line and Nate Thompson on the fourth is really making that difference in terms of the team-wide face-off percentage, because Danault and Suzuki have still been strong for the Habs. Hits, Philly actually had the edge, 36-32 for hits for Philadelphia. But you wouldn't be able to tell by the way the game went. I thought Montreal played a very heavy game. They were on top of all the Philadelphia Flyers skaters, and they did not pull any punches in front of the net. Philly had to work for every bit of positioning they had tonight, especially in front of Carey Price. They were played very hard. Sherratt specifically and Weber just beating up their opponents in front of the net and in the corners. Montreal 2 for 6 on the power play. That's great to see. They were moving the puck really well. We saw some line juggling on the power play, and Mete on the power play. That's impressive. We'll get into that. He did fairly well. And again, the penalty kill, 5 for 5, going 100% against the Philadelphia Flyers. You love to see it. Now, got to mention, first and foremost, great win for Claude Julien. I wish him the best in his recovery. That was some shocking news we got the other day, and I'm sure he's smiling ear to ear after that performance by the Habs. And then Shea Weber's birthday, and he plays a great game as well and gets the win on his birthday.
And happy birthday to Shea Weber. He is the epitome of leadership and consistency in the NHL to go along with being an elite defenseman. There is no other way around it. Shea has been an absolute beast for us in these playoffs in every aspect. And I think his critics need to do some self-reflecting.
Now, to go through the 3 periods of this game, the Habs started really strong, pushing the pace early, and I did not think they were going to keep that pace throughout the game, but somehow, for the most part, they managed to do it. They were first on pucks all game, winning the majority of 50-50 puck battles all over the ice. Didn't matter if it was open ice, along the boards, in the D zone, in the O zone, forcing turnovers. They were battling, and every single player seems to have bought in to this very specific style of play. You do not give your opposition time and space to make decisions with the puck. You force them into mistakes, and you take away that time and space as fast as you can using your speed. You're seeing every single Habs skater do it, from the Armias and the Lekkonens to the Drouins and the Domis to the young guys, Kotkaniemi and Suzuki, playing heavy, especially Kotkaniemi. And Suzuki's no slouch there physically either. He's been pushing the forecheck hard. But Kotkaniemi with 6 hits tonight on top of his 2 goals. Unreal.
These hits from Kotkaniemi aren't just numbers on the stat sheet either. He is laying into guys, like putting his full weight into it. And an underrated thing about this Montreal Canadiens team, our young guys can get away playing this way because we have the Sherratts, the Webbers, the Petries, the tough veterans on our team, Gallagher, that are going to protect the young players. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
So, like I said, we start the first period strong, and Tatar gets on the board, and thank God we get that first line for us up on the board. It's Gallagher and Tatar were having a lot of trouble finishing those plays for the most part in this return to play, despite playing fairly good hockey otherwise. But we get Tatar on the board, and it starts with a very slick play from Brendan Gallagher. The puck banks off Carter Hart off a shot, rebound into the corner, and Gallagher goes in backwards back to the glass and makes a very slick play behind the back off the boards, and then he immediately gets it onto his forehand and crashes towards the net, puts it on net, and the rebound again goes out into the slot here, and Tatar takes it and buries it. He is not going to miss that chance. Beautiful goal there, and great initiating it from Brendan Gallagher. Suzuki picks up an assist on that play as well. Then we get Kotkaniemi's first goal of this game, and it starts with a great shift from that entire new line. You know what? I was wrong about Domi not being moved off that fourth line. Now, that said, I did not know that Claude Julien was going to have a health event and be out, and then Muller would be making the decisions. But I have to say anyway that I wasn't really expecting any line changes for this game, where it's Julien's first game out, and you know what they've been doing has generally been working through this return to play so far. So I figured Muller would kind of feel it out for the first game, leave Julien's lines intact. However, and it actually looked like that's what was going to happen. All the reporters were saying the lines were going to stay the same. Even NBC reported that there were no line changes when the game started, and there actually was. So Domi comes off the fourth line, comes up onto a line on the left wing with Kotkaniemi centering it and Drouin on the right wing. That line has Dominic Ducharme written all over it. I said on Twitter a couple weeks ago that Ducharme, one of his first moves when he gets a little bit more control of the bench, will be putting Drouin on right wing, because that's where he played a lot of his time in junior under Dominic Ducharme. And turns out it happened and it worked. So this was a great shift by them on the Habs' second goal. They were pushing the pace in the O-zone, holding the possession down low, and it was kind of a scramble, some bounces happening, but Kotkaniemi has been rushing those scoring areas since this return to play began. He's a completely new player. He's way more confident, and he's not just in his skills, but in his size and how physically capable he is of handling himself. And he's getting into the dirty areas consistently, and it's paying off for him. Now our leading goal scorer, and he gets one here in front of the net, and just banking it in, playing hard. So towards the end of that first period, we get a penalty call on Shane Gostisbehere. Great speed from Max Domi coming up the ice on the bit of a gaffed play there by the two Philly defensemen, kind of letting the puck go by them. And Domi capitalizes, flying up the ice, really utilizing his speed there. And Gostisbehere, it looks like he got a little touch in on Domi, but not a whole lot. Hard to say, but personally, I kind of thought it was a bad call. I'm a defenseman. I love the defensive aspect of the game. And for example, the Hedman-Atkinson play the other night in the Tampa Bay-Columbus game, I thought that was a great non-call. You got to allow the defenseman to be able to do something as long as they don't break a rule when they're trying to defend a back check on a breakaway and catch up to the guy who's coming in alone. You got to be able to do something as long as you don't take a penalty. Hedman didn't take a penalty. He just used his strength to push down Atkinson. And here, it didn't really look like Gostisbehere made that much contact. So me personally, I thought that was a bad call. I said it at the time, and I stick with it. But nonetheless, we go into the second period, and the Habs capitalize on it. It's not up to them to make calls and pick and choose which ones are good and bad, but when you get an opportunity, you got to try and capitalize on it, and they did there. It was Thomas Tatar with his second goal. It's good to see Tuna getting back up on the board, the Habs leading point scorer this season. So he gets a goal assisted from Mete and Domi, and this was the one on the power play. Very nice crisp pass from Mete on the power play. Great to see him out there. I think his passing ability is... I'm just not sure why it took so long to get him on the power play. But anyway, we get Muller and Ducharme kind of running things here. And sure enough, we get Mete on the power play, and he picks up 2 assists tonight. And this was one of them. Chris passed along the offensive blue line over to Tatar. He walks in, and when Tatar has space to walk in and get some power behind that shot, watch out. He rings one off the post and in there. Beautiful snipe from Thomas Tatar. Love it.
I got to do another one of these call-outs just for Kotkaniemi. Again, just because of how well he played. This goal, this snipe from Tatar, and he just establishing it on this power play there was started by Jesperi Kotkaniemi down low, winning the puck battle. The poise with the puck to make the play up to the point. Special kid, 20 years old. Something else.
And we get a goal from Armia. This was the one where he was just, fourth line energy shift here. He's down low. He's just putting the puck towards the net, banks off the Philly defenseman, and it goes in. Now, Flyers actually outshot us in that period, 15-11. But we go into the third, and early we get Carey Price's save on Derek Grant. I thought... he had made the best save of his career last game. And actually, you know what? The save last game with the stick where he was down and out and still managed to deflect that over the net, saving Suzuki's life, that was definitely probably, if not his best save, in the top 3. No questions about it. But this one on Derek Grant was nice too. Puck bounced off the backboards, leaving almost an open net, and Carey way out of position, very deep in his net there because of the banked shot, which he was trying to be aggressive on. And but he managed to dive over, and it looked like he was then going to dive out of the way and kind of misjudge it and go too far. And Derek Grant made a nice play shooting far side there, but Price, in the last moment, got his pads together and got them stuck to the ice and made the save. That is totally deliberate. This is Carey Price when he is dialed in. It's something special to watch. Like, you can't even... the saves he makes are just, inhuman. There's no other way to describe it. He's unbelievable back there. Plus... he is getting involved, like I said in my preview of this series. I'm not so sure Flyers fans were really prepared for the version of Carey Price they were going to get in this series. He is getting involved physically with skaters. He is not allowing guys to stay close to him and screen him in the crease. He is after them hard. This is the playoffs, and there's nothing wrong with that. And Carey, he had a chance at a cup taken away from him back a few years ago when Kreider crashed the net. Back when guys weren't thinking twice about crashing the net on Carey Price. And since then, he has consistently done a great job of protecting the house and not taking any shit in his crease. And he was doing that here in this game, and you saw him tangle it up with a few different guys, including Derek Grant in front of the net. Now then, before we get the Kotkaniemi goal, we get the nice save from Shea Weber. Carey Price was a little down and out on this particular play, and I'm sure you guys know the one I'm talking about, and the Philly skater gets a shot on that, and Shea Weber comes in with the very important block. Petrie might have got a little bit of it as well, but great play there. The game was 4-0, and there was still a bit of time in the third. You never know in these NHL playoffs what can happen, so keeping us in that, keeping the shutout alive, that was huge from Shea Weber on his birthday. The NHL has this guy, Shea Weber, elite defenseman, ranked as the 14th best in the league. Give me a break. Come on, let's go here. So then we do get Kotkaniemi's second goal, and what a slick one it was. Very nice work from him, lowering his center of gravity, using his edge work, getting his legs far apart, gliding, and he uses the edges there and his body to angle himself and a quick juke into the slot, and then he snipes it on Brian Elliott. Beautiful shot there. Speaking of that, Brian Elliott came in after the fourth goal. Habs chased Carter Hart. This was one of the keys to a series victory that I mentioned ahead of this series for the Montreal Canadiens. Get to Carter Hart early. Get in his head and maybe start a goalie controversy here that will work in the Habs' favor. So keep an eye on that moving forward. So then we get the comments from Alain Vigneault after the game about Kirk Muller using his first power play unit when we're up 5-0 and we got a power play late, and he's talking about being embarrassed and we didn't need it more. But you know what? I totally agree with Kirk Muller's point. This is the playoffs. Montreal's power play hasn't been good. They don't have much practice time. They got to get it going in real live game situations. That's all he was trying to do. I'm sure there was no disrespect there. But from the Alain Vigneault side of it, that's just him motivating his team. He's blatantly going out there and talking about how they got embarrassed and how they were outplayed in all areas of the game. He's just trying to fire up his team. I got no issues with Alain Vigneault coming out and making that statement. That's a coach doing what coaches do, trying to motivate his players for the next game. Now, the Lehkonen-Danault-Byron line was the only line for the Habs that did not get up on the board offensively. Every other Habs every other Habs forward had points, but Danault, Lehkonen, and Byron's line did not. However, they were fantastic defensively, and early in the first, or most of the first, they were actually generating some fairly sound scoring chances as well. But then, as the game went on, they kind of got into their defensive mode and just continued to shut everything down. Byron is just unrelenting on pucks. You don't even realize he's about to come steal one from you or sneak up on you, and you think you got time with the puck, and boom, there he is on you. And then Lehkonen, constantly pushing the pace as well. He's reading the play very, very strongly, the opposing players, and then picking pucks off, and how quick he can then turn the play the other way, and we're going back up to the other end of the ice is very impressive. And I found Danault's defensive stick was on full display in this game, getting pucks in passing lanes, deflecting them over the glass, just breaking up plays to the point where Philly just couldn't get a good feel for the puck and get things going, thanks to Danault out there just getting in the way of everything that they tried to execute. Very impressive game defensively from Phillip Danault. Now, I'm a Habs fan. Y'all know that. But, Sean Couturier is talked about as one of the best defensive centers in the league. Phillip Danault is taking it to him here in this series and showing who is the better defensive center. That's not a biased take. That is what's happening in this series. Also going to call out our decor here. They are playing off the charts good. They're playing very heavy. They're hard to play against. They're not letting up on any of the Philadelphia Flyers skaters. And not only that, they are making very intelligent, quick, smart plays up the ice. They're not making mistakes. They're not turning the puck over in the D zone. They're supporting each other down low. And the communication, team-wide is great, but specifically the defensemen, the communication between them is stellar right now. And you need that. And because they're doing such a great job of communicating, you're seeing that translate onto on-ice success and just quick outs and responsible outs for the Habs. And then it's leading to a lot of zone time for Montreal and not much for the Philadelphia Flyers. Montreal's decor, top to bottom, not just Weber and Sherratt, are doing very well. There's been a lot of complaints from some fans about Ouellet and Mete, and Mete's kind of had his moments, had a few mistakes here and there, but he was great this game, even offensively, and defensively he was sound as well. But in general, I found Mete throughout this whole return to play hasn't been that bad at all. He's on the third pair, and he's in that role, playing it very well. And Xavier Ouellet, I think he's been fantastic this entire return to play. I can't count, more than one mistake he's made. Maybe two if you count him pushing the Phillies skater Derek Grant into Carey Price the last game and almost taking out our star goalie. Other than that, let's not make mistakes out there. He has been a very sound 5-6 defenseman for the Habs through this entire return to play. I'm really liking this Mete-Ouellet pair, and it seems like they're starting to get some chemistry going together. It's a shame that a guy like Cale Fleury can't draw in, but right now you can't break up Ouellet and Mete. And if someone was going to come out, it'd be Mete because Ouellet's been playing so well, and I still feel like Mete is a good puck mover once he gets some touches and he can get some confidence with the puck through a game. And now that he's on the power play and able to use that offensive ability, I think we'll see a lot more great things from him offensively in this series. So Price picks up the shutout this game, saves 30 out of 30.
Price is rocking a 1.46 save percentage in this return to play. 10.5 well spent.
Suzuki was our most used forward at 18 minutes and 46 seconds, just ahead of Deneau there. He gets an assist on the night and goes 53% in the faceoff dot. Domi with 3 assists after getting moved up, so it worked. All the fans that saying he should have been moved up, maybe they were right, because the fourth line, even with Domi off, it seemed to handle themselves just fine. Jake Evans is a big reason for that. He looks very good for a first-year NHLer playing center. This could be a real game changer for Montreal in their playoff run if Jake Evans can take and run with a fourth-line center spot for the Habs. I wasn't even sure he was ready to come back from injury. I knew he was practicing, but great to see him back in the lineup, healthy and ready to go, because 7th round pick for the Habs. What a steal for the Habs in the 7th round. This kid has a very strong future ahead of him in the NHL, considering how he has played so far in his rookie year. Tatar with 2 goals. That's huge for the Montreal Canadiens to get him up on the board offensively. I said it last game. He's been struggling through most of this return to play, and it's a bit of a hindrance when your best goal scorer and leading point scorer isn't getting up on the board. Now, granted, he's had some very tough matchups so far in the return to play, but it's really good to see him up on the board with those 2 goals, doing what he does best, getting that snipe tonight. So that's about it, guys. I really think Philly's going to come flying next game. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Also, hit that subscribe button if you like these videos. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Scotian Canadian. What a game that was. What a performance. Cannot wait to talk to you guys after the next one. But until then, I'm going to enjoy my night and probably watch those highlights a bunch of times. Woo! Go Habs, go, baby!
Go ahead, go.